Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 252. I'm going to give you a Marriott bound owner update from December 2024. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Marriott points versus Vistana points, just to go through that. And then I was actually given an interesting offer to migrate my Vistana to Marriott. I think they're trying to ultimately merge things, and since I'm in this position, I'm curious to hear what they have to say, and I'll talk to you about that just in case you happen to be one of those people. But and then I'll talk about the maintenance fees and how my usage for 24 and 25. And then the last thing I want to talk about is getting the Encore package, which is like a free vacation for without having to purchase, and it's cheaper than maintenance fees. So at the end, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. But without further ado, let me talk about the Marriott points versus Vistana points. Okay, let's talk about Marriott points versus Vistana. I own both, and a lot of people would have either Westin and Sheraton as the Vistana. So if you happen to be one of those people that own but have no Marriott, they actually were trying to buy it out. But so I own each, and each year I get a choice to opt in to move my points into Marriott or keep them within the Vistana network. For 2025, I moved my Vistana to Marriott. For 2024. I banked my options. I had kept them in Vistana, and what's nice about banking them in the Vistana network is it's not just good for 1 year like the Marriott is. It's actually good for 2 years. So I have roughly 100,000 points. I had 110, and I want to use it because I have a specific need. I want to go to the Sheraton in Poipu, and I get priority on that. So I wanted to keep that for the next couple of years. And then, and again, the translation is 110,000 Vistana points is equal to about 3,212 points. So, and I like this flexibility of choosing points. I actually compare the maintenance from the various sides, and the interesting part is the Vistana actually has a higher priority within. It's a higher priority and lower costs within the interval bucket as well. So that makes it pretty interesting. But anyway, that's the difference between Marriott and they effectively can be merged in, so you can use it to just expand your Marriott base, or you can keep them separate depending on how you want to manage your priorities. So here's what's interesting, I think, between they want to migrate Vistana to Marriott. There's two reasons they want to do it, which is the more they move people over, the more inventory there is for the broader Marriott, because it's sort of if you think of it like real estate. So that's why I started with the Marriott versus Vistana, is they want to, the more they move into Marriott, the more they have for the general Marriott population. So that's the benefit to Marriott, and that's why they're potentially giving what I think might be an interesting offer. So I was offered the ability to merge my accounts. I need to do some research right now. I'm doing it. So maintenance, they would do a 2,000 point upgrade, and then they said I could put this into the rental pool to offset maintenance. Now I need to do some research to figure out how much maintenance it would be, because you're still gonna have to buy them. But if it meant that I could offset 5,000 of my maintenance points for using 2,000 points, then since they're new points, I still could operate in the current level and have almost, pretty much not very much maintenance for my existing. So that would be lower my cost, which would be great. Less over maintenance fees. My current Vistana Marriott would be 30% more. So they said when you merge them, there's going to be your net overall maintenance fees will go down. So that would be great, because again, it would be less money than to do that. But again, I want to actually see that in writing and work through the details. Right now I'm going to do some research after I got this update. And this is a good example. You don't just buy on the spur of the moment. When you buy on the spur of the moment, you end up feeling a lot more buyer's remorse. I'm actually going to verify if this makes sense, even if I might decide still not to do it, because there's still a lot of money to buy it. But I might do it. So I need to understand the total maintenance with the additional 2,000 points, and then how much it actually would be after I did that. So, what will be the ROI on the maintenance savings plus the maintenance reduction from rental versus the costs? And I would be in a higher tier, so that's the other advantage, and I'd be able to take advantage of all the I could book 1 or 2 nights out, wait 12 months out. That's a plus for me because I don't travel always a whole week. I might be driving from one place to another, and I'd love to stop in a wonderful place in that process. Anyway, let's look at maintenance fees. Well, I'm happy to report on 2025 maintenance there was only a 3.5%, which is increase after last year being 15%. I was so furious. I was like, what am I doing? So I've been, the fact that I got an interesting proposal last year, if they'd given me the same proposal, I said, no way, because 15% increase in maintenance. So I used all of my 2024 allocation, plus I had some bonus points that I'd gotten from attending sales presentations. So, and I banked 100,000 of my 110,000 so I could stay at the Sheraton Kauai. And again, banking is good for 2 years, like I mentioned in the last slide. And that's just to give you a sense of what that is for those of you Marriott people. That's roughly a 1-bedroom for 9 to 10 days, depending on whether you book 2 weekends or if you do midweek to midweek with, the weekend points just cost more. So I'll play with that when I actually book it. So I think that what the good news is the maintenance fees seems to be like the 15% was a one-time situation with inflation and various other things, and hopefully this will now be more the norm as far as closer to inflation. Anyway, let's now talk about the Encore. Okay, let's talk about getting an Encore package. And to me, this is something I recommend for everyone, those who are listening to my channel. It's effectively a extra vacation that you don't have to buy points for, and it's cheaper than your maintenance fees. So what it is, it's available to owners, so it's not just new people. It's anywhere from 3 to 6 nights. It goes from roughly $200 for some places up to 6 nights can be $12.99. Still less. It's almost a week. And I actually have one that's $12.99. It's 6 nights in a 2-bedroom. So that's way below what the maintenance fee for 6 nights in a 2-bedroom. Nice to have the price lock. Not sure that I'm going to buy necessarily, but it's nice to have a lock from up to 18 months before. They can be either used the next 18 months on another vacation, or you can use them as a credit to your purchase. And I think even if you've partially used it, they like to give you the credit if you still have it active. And again, it's just a way to get a discount. And they'll also sometimes even give you the bonus for actually having the vacation. It depends on the negotiation and deals they have. So it's always better, in my opinion, it's always better to have one. It's always better to have, it's just another vacation. And you're going to be, if you own timeshares, you're going to be asked to go to presentations all the time anyway, so you might as well go. And again, I wanted to lock in the current promotion. I didn't want to buy more points. I wanted a short stay at the location where I was. It's one of my favorite places. It's in Tahoe. And I get additional Bonvoy points. I think I get 60,000 Bonvoy points. So it's kind of like that's what you get usually with an owner update anyway. So the fact that I have to have an owner update means I get the Bonvoy points anyway. So I get lower costs, don't have had to purchase anything, and I get the Bonvoy points for the upgrade. So again, I recommend this for people. That way, if you're doing it all the time and you're always buying an Encore, well, maybe that tells you that you should buy more points because you're using them all the time. So it's kind of like my gauge to see, am I using all my points? Because I don't want to overbuy and then be feeling like forced to go on vacation. I know that sounds horrible, but you're forced to go on vacation. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my channel right after this. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give it a like. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.